Hello and welcome to I Am Geek, and this is episode 182. I'm Ryan. I'm joined by my brother Chris and our good pal Katrin, and we have a special guest tonight, Katie Harrison from Nightly Spirits Ghost Tours, as well as Chris Street's friend from high school.
That's on her business card.
Yeah,
Sure.
It is.
I mean, who wouldn't have it on there? Right? Guys,
Very small print, but it's
very small.
That's where it should be. It's like the Santa Claus. You got to get really in there with the magnifying glass in order to see it. Santa Claus, nothing. Okay, we're good.
Anyways, Katie is also the operation manager for Nightly Spirits Ghost Tours. How are you doing tonight, Katie?
I am spooktacular.
As they say in the business,
all day.
As they say in the business, Nightly Spirits is the most spirited tour in town.
Woo!
Oh, she did it! I watched the video.
Nice.
It's funny, the first video that pops up when you type in Nightly Spirit Ghost Tours is a video of you on Houston Today or something like that.
Yeah. Great Day, Houston.
Yeah, that was the first video.
Where I tell my ghost cat story.
Yeah,
that was not embarrassing at all. Totally meant to do that.
Trust me, you were not the embarrassing part of that video. It may have been everybody in the background or the host.
They were excited to be there. They've been dead for like 75 years. We woke them up for the show. Sorry.
It was funny. The studio audience was like 6 people in costumes, like the most random costume.
Yeah,
behind her. Yeah, it's funny.
On the other side, behind them, that was a little odd.
Anyway.
Oh, you mean the live people? Oh, I thought you were talking about the ghosts.
Oh no, they were cool.
They were good.
Yeah,
they were spot on.
So how about we start with this? How did you get from Chris's friend in high school to being part of a ghost tour? I mean, is this something all your life you've been into ghosts? You've been into this kind of thing? Or?
Well, being Chris's friend in high school, it'll open a lot of doors for you.
That is true.
Once you're Chris's friend in high school, you really...
You're going places.
Further up.
A lot of exit doors.
Yeah. So... I've always liked the spooky stuff. I mean, when we were in high school, I think pretty much every Halloween we spent all night at Angelique's house. Do you remember Angelique?
Yes, Angelique.
And how we would stay up all night watching scary movies.
Mm-hmm.
And
I wouldn't stay all night. Like me and Jared would come. You probably
weren't allowed to sleep over at a girl's house.
I probably wasn't. But that's where Jared is very good at his disappearing acts from houses.
Yes, he is.
And so I would go with him, and then just grab hold of his shoulder, and suddenly we'd be gone out of there. It was crazy. So
yeah, those were fun nights because it was all the girls and the guys in theater, and we would stay up all night watching scary movies. And I definitely always loved that. In fact, fun Chris memory.
I didn't even ask for it.
When Blair Witch Project first came out, do you tell me you remember this? And we were at Sarah Hood's house watching it, and you and I got bored because we didn't think it was that scary. I didn't like it because it made my stomach nauseous.
Yeah.
And we snuck outside at Sarah's house. This was you, I promise.
Oh no, yeah, I think I'm remembering this.
And we started scratching on the windows while everybody was watching it, and banging on the windows, and scared the crap out of them. They were all freaking out because we were like, "This movie's boring. Let's go scare some people."
Yeah, I think Sarah hit me after that.
Probably. And she had that giant dog that probably attacked us that night. But it all started. That's when it started for me.
It all goes back to Chris.
You're welcome.
It started when we got bored watching Blair Witch and decided to scare everybody. I think we got bored. I don't know. Maybe we got scared and left. I don't remember that much, but
yeah, I may
it's
have
a long time ago.
Yeah, it's.
Oh no, not that long. Shut up, Brett.
Well, if you name a movie that had just came out, you kind of
I
put
mean,
the date.
there was part 8.
Part 8.
Part 8. Part 8.
That totally.
There's still some dude standing in a corner.
Blair Witch
That's
here.
part 8. He's just still standing there.
Just in the corner.
And
Blair Witch Part 8.
Been there the
Electric
whole
Boogaloo.
Did they make a second one of those?
They did, but it wasn't like the documentary style thing. They did like an actual movie, or at least they tried to do an actual movie, and it wasn't good.
Well, the first one wasn't good either.
No. But yeah, I love, I guess, weird stuff always.
Well, Chris, you're friends with Chris, yes.
The whole performing thing, obviously, I did that for a very long time. Never have a real job. I don't think I've ever done a 9-to-5 or sat at a desk or anything like that. And then one year I was kind of getting fed up. Theater, it's either feast or famine. You're working like a ton and getting roles left and right, and it's great. And you're actually making money doing it. And then all of a sudden people are like, Katie, who are you? Didn't you used to be in your 20s? Yeah. So it got to that point where I was like, I'm done. I'm going to go back to school and be an architect or something stupid.
No offense to architects.
This show is sponsored by architects.
Buildings and stuff. I thank you for what you do.
You're awesome. I love buildings.
I'm not going to, whatever. I was going to give up, right? And I found this thing on Craigslist that was like, do you like scaring people? Do you like being the life of the party? Do you like drinking beer? And I was like, yes, I do. And I looked it up. It was like a legit thing. It wasn't like those weird people that are like, let me take pictures of your toes for $20. It wasn't like that. It was legit. It was real. And I went on a tour in Houston when they opened. It was like when they first opened in Houston. Actually, it was 4 years ago today. It was. My little Facebook memory popped up. 4 years ago today, I got hired I was a tour guide. And I loved it. Like, I went crazy. It's so much fun. Like, I got to dress up in this little saloon girl outfit. I got to drink beer. I got to tell ghost stories, and everybody looked at me for 3 hours. It was great. It was exactly what I needed. And I guess it like brought me back to life, which is kind of hilarious, talking about all the dead folks in Houston. It totally brought me back to life and re-sparked me. And I was just really, really good at it. And the boss man came down and was like, you're really good at this. This is exactly what he sounds like, by the way. You're really good at this. You want to work full time? I said, no. I was still acting and still getting enough work to actually be an actress. And so I was like, no, not really. I just like doing this on the side. It makes money. It's great. And then like every month you'd be like, you ready to go full time? Hey, you going to do full time? No. And then I contract opened San Antonio. So I like got to go to San Antonio and like scout out the bars and do the research. And I wrote the script, and then I got to go opening weekend and train the guides. And totally crazy story on that end too, that we'll definitely include because it's an awesome ghost story. But my mind literally does this. So if you need to be like, Katie, finish your thought.
That's fine.
Please.
That's fine. I'm still back with your boss that probably looks just like you, but with a mustache.
Close. Close.
Okay.
It doesn't have any hair. So,
okay. All right.
Almost.
Gotcha.
So just picture me without any hair and a beard, and that's him.
All right. Well, it sounded like that.
So it's me. Wait, picture me without any hair and a beard?
It actually does look quite a bit like Ryan.
So hey.
Yes.
You do a good job.
Jared? What?
You want to do this?
I'm totally working. Don't yell at me. So, I loved opening San Antonio. It was so cool. And I was like, you know what? A steady paycheck sounds really nice. I think, at this point I was like 30. And it was time for the first steady paycheck of my life. And so I was like, yeah, okay, I'll go full time. And I have since opened 9 cities, open tours in 9 cities. We also run wine tours. We have these really awesome old school trolleys, like the San Francisco trolleys. They've been retrofitted for the road, and we take people around on our trolleys to do wine tours in Temecula, California, and Fredericksburg, Texas. We're close. We're close. And I basically travel to all these cities, and I research ghosts. I, schmooze bartenders, and I drink beer. My job is great.
Well, there we go. I mean, so
yeah, I thought I would be doing. I knew I was going to be performing. I knew I would never have a normal job. I was never going to be like 9 to 5 or do something that was going to pay me decently at all. But
that's what fun, right?
Here we are.
Yeah. So we did the sort of the opposite, because when I was in my 30 somethings, I said, forget full-time job, I'm quitting, and being a stay-at-home dad. So, but that's a full-time job in itself.
I was going to say that's probably more work.
But
do what you love, Ryan. Yeah. Do what you love.
My bosses are now 6 and 3. So
6'3". Okay, got it.
6 and 3.
Lots of board
and they pay horribly. That's why I moved to Houston for my wife's job. So that's why I became the Mr. Mom.
Mr. Mom.
Nothing wrong with that.
Whatever you want to call it. So, see, now I'm losing my train of thought. It's because I'm 42 now. See, you don't feel bad about yourself because, look, I'm 42.
Yeah, and you're like a whole decade older than Chris and I. So.
Oh, yeah.
Like 10,
no matter
15
how
years.
old you are, Ryan is really old.
I'm really old.
Well, I'm like a day older than you, Chris.
That's true. It's,
not even a day, not even a full day.
Not even a full day. Yeah.
No.
So.
All right.
So we got the zodiac
line.
I'm on the Scorpio line, and you're on the Sagittarius line. So.
Yeah, I'm hugging the Sagittarius. I'm not letting go of it.
No, I'm on the Scorpio side of it.
So
we have a couple of hellos real quick.
Oh.
On the live stream. So if you're not on the live stream when you're listening to this podcast, you should be on there. But we have Catherine Noser says hello.
Oh.
And Gary Street says hello.
He has the same birthday as me. The day before you, Chris. Catherine does.
Oh, there you go.
No, I don't see it on here.
Happy
it's on Facebook.
Oh, Facebook. Yeah, I don't see it on there. I just see that Nancy Street's watching on Facebook. Whole family's on.
That's right.
No relation.
No relation.
Different street.
All right, so let's get back to spooky stuff. So first off, you have the spirit tour or whatever you want to, where you drink, and then you have the food tour.
We do a haunted pub tour, which is like ghost tour pub crawl combination. Drink some more beer. But it's that one where we like to be like, the more spirits you drink, the more spirits you'll see. And I get funnier as the evening goes. I mean, I'm hysterical by the last bar. So, but then we also do haunted food tours, which we do small bites at each place. So overall, you'll get like a nice meal out of it. And we tell the history and the ghost stories. The ghost's favorite dish, what food they like the best, or
SpaghettiOs. That happens during the day, right? The food tours.
The food tours usually run like 2 to 5, kind of the slower time for a restaurant. And then the haunted pub tours in the evening. We do happy hour tours in some places. Just because, it's never too early to drink and tell ghost stories. And then we do all ages tours as well that don't stop at bars. So, kids love ghosts now. They are obsessed with, they're not scared of things like.
So 6 and up is the bars.
6
below that.
No, 6.5.
6.5. Oh, okay. Well.
Let's be responsible.
1 Shirley Temple, please.
7 cherries.
That would be me. I would be the Shirley Temple
I'll
guy.
take a Jägermeister.
See, that's another thing. See, I would have fun on the pub tour, but I don't drink because I'm a child and I have the palate of a child and don't like the taste of alcohol because I'm weird.
No, it runs in the family.
Yeah, so I would
Although
just be
our
the
parents. No.
I would just be the weird dude in the back that's not drinking, just standing there like.
Well, if you're making that noise,
Tell me some
you know.
stories.
Who's the creep in the back?
Tell everybody that you're a ghost, and that every now and then you'll show up.
Yeah.
Ryan Street. No,
Well, I could get into the food tour.
He died last year.
Yeah.
Every year on this night, he stands in the corner looking angry.
Yeah.
Doesn't drink anything.
He doesn't drink anything. That's how you know he's a ghost.
Don't talk to him. Don't engage.
Don't engage. That's my whole life. No one engages with me. Except for 6-year-old and 3-year-old. So tell me some. Can you share some stories with us?
I can. And my let's see. Well, one of my favorite Houston stories is from the Spaghetti Warehouse, which sadly is no more. Hurricane Harvey kind of wiped it out. Yeah. I had like 6 feet of water on the top floor of the building. Yeah, and it's a 3-story building, so it was a bit of a mess. But it was built in 1903, and it was a pharmaceutical warehouse back in the day. So I don't know if you ever got to go in the Spaghetti Warehouse.
No, I don't get out of the house very much.
But they had, like, when you walk in, there's this big old sign that said drugs. It wasn't like a recommendation or anything. It actually was left over from when it was the pharmaceutical warehouse. And so, it's like 1907, and there's this pharmacist. He is working late. He just got married, and he's like, I got to get home to my wife. I got to get home. She's going to be so mad at me, and I want to start things off right. So he rushes to get home. He grabs all his paperwork, and he runs to the elevator. Now, this is back when the elevator, you had to, crank it yourself, or, nothing was going to happen. Well, he wasn't paying attention, and he stepped into the elevator shaft, and
oh, no.
Yeah, not so pretty at all. Well, according to the story, which is absolutely 100% fact, according to the story, his wife at that very moment, she's making dinner in her kitchen. She's like, oh, I wonder when my husband's going to get home. That's exactly what she sounds like, too. Oh, dear, I hope he gets home soon. And all of a sudden, the back door opens, and her husband walks in. And he doesn't look at her, he doesn't stop, and he walks straight into the bedroom. She's like, well, that was weird. He didn't shut the door. So she goes to yell at him for not shutting the door, but he's not in the house at all. There's no one in the house. He did not walk into the house. But she notices that the front door is wide open. She all of a sudden knows, oh my goodness, something's wrong. So she rushes down to the building where he works, and she finds him broken and dead, very dead, at the bottom of that elevator shaft. He's not the ghost. 1 year to the date of his death.
It's always 1 year.
It was exactly 1 year. And her heart was broken, and that's why she died. It wasn't tuberculosis or anything like that. It was a broken heart.
She had a Star Wars death.
She died of a broken heart. And she returned to the building to hopefully be reunited with her love, to be reunited with her husband. But at some point, he was like, nah, girl, I'm going to move on. I'm good. Because she never found him. And so now she is said to haunt the building, forever searching for her husband, who either moved on or found another place to haunt with a cuter ghost girl there. But she's seen on the 3rd floor. And every time somebody sees her, they say that she has a long white veil on, and her eyes are very dark, like she's been crying. And she will knock over things. She'll pull on people's hair. The bathroom, the women's restroom up there, is significantly colder than the rest of the building. And I can attest to that. I have been up there in the heat of Texas summer, and that bathroom is freezing cold. Walls have shaken. It's weird stuff that happened. We got a picture of her that's definitely one of the spookiest pictures I've ever seen. But I don't know. Now that Spaghetti Warehouse is closed, I don't know if she's still there or if she's moved her way up into downtown somewhere else or what. But she's my favorite Houston ghost.
And when anyone would drop a plate of spaghetti and it would splat on the floor,
She got real mad. She didn't like you throwing food.
well, it just reminded of her husband splatting.
That's a terrible thing to say.
Chris. See who we work with here.
What's wrong with you?
So many things.
So the spaghetti warehouse is still
broken like noodles.
Oh gosh, the warehouse is still Is it still standing?
It is. They're putting in some weird like open air concept dining thing. Bottom floor. They've like emptied out the bottom floor, so it'll be like an open air market. So like I guess a patio that's underneath the main part of the building. But they've been doing that like since Harvey, so I don't know when or if it's actually going to come to fruition. But if it does, I hope she haunts the crap out of them.
So how do I put this? What do you think about stories like that? Like are they tied? Is the entity or whatever tied to the building? Or so if the building, let's say the building collapsed there in Harvey and was no more. There was nothing there but a plot of land. Does the spirit still show up there, or they're like,
I think yes, in her case, because her story goes that she's there to find her husband, and that's the last place she knew of him to be. So I think in that case, yes. Obviously, and I'm going to say all of this with the absolute conviction that what I'm saying is 100% fact. Obviously, there are ghosts that are tied to people. They're tied to objects. And then there's some that just float around. They're like, ooh, I'm dead. I'm going to go over here now. So,
they didn't get to travel much in life. So,
they're
traveling in death.
I'm dead. Let's go over here.
That's funny. I want a ghost to say that. Ooh, I'm dead.
Hey, I'm dead. Well, when I die, Ryan, I will come and haunt you, and I'll say, I'm dead. Except you're so old, the chances of you outliving there, I know.
Yeah.
It's slim. I'm a street, though. We just power through.
Yeah. Just grin and bear it.
Into our 90s. Yeah.
Something falls off, we pick it up and just slap it back on. Keep walking.
So I've heard that something followed you home. Is this true? At one point?
Well,
or you moved into a place.
Yes.
And
my ghost cat. Let's talk about my destiny of being a crazy cat lady for the rest of my life. My ghost cat, one of my apartments I think it was in Sugarland, just outside of Houston. And the lady that had lived there before me, she had like 83 cats, something like that. It was kind of like my future. It was like this weird glitch in the Matrix where I moved into my own apartment, but in the past. So, sorry, that was a really nerdy thing to say.
Well, you're on I Am Geek, so you can say whatever you want to.
So, yes, my future self, who is going to die alone in my apartment with 83 cats, but then my younger self is going to move into that apartment. So I moved into this apartment, and I mean, like the whole thing, it was covered in fleas. They were in the baseboards, they were in the carpet. It was disgusting. And I got the complex to clean it up. They put me up in a hotel, but they were like, yeah, that lady had a lot of cats. I'm like, great. Okay, cool. And so once I got back in, the fleas were gone. I was in bed, and I felt like, you know how the cats, they like make the biscuits? They'll sit there and they'll just
yep. They need.
They're making biscuits, Christopher. They're making biscuits.
They're kneading the dough to make the biscuit.
I think that's clear. You don't need to explain it.
Well, Ryan looked very confused. He didn't have cats.
Well, when I think making the biscuits, it's like they're dropping some deuces or something.
I thought we weren't going to talk about bowel movements.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So the cat's kneading some dough on my bed, like on my stomach. And I'm like, oh, kitty. I don't have a cat. and like realize, oh wait, I don't have a cat. What is that? And I would just feel it like all the time. A cat walk across me at night, or like just kneading that dough, making some biscuits, and I didn't have a cat. And so later, fast forward, I do now have 2 cats alive, living, I think. And they would like stand at my door and just scream at something. And then they would like reach underneath the door. That ghost cat was in my bedroom, like teasing my live cats. Ghost cat sadly did not follow me to New Orleans.
Well, that's a long trip for a cat.
Yeah.
Well, the 2 live cats, I almost killed them on the way. So
could have had more ghost cats.
Yeah, we would have had plenty. But yeah, the ghost cat is no longer with me.
Oh.
Alas. I think maybe I don't know. Maybe ghost cat stayed with my old roommate.
Making biscuits somewhere else.
Making biscuits for somebody else. Yeah. Yes. That is the only ghost I've like had follow me. I've had a ghost in Austin. A ghost totally touched me. Like I'm the here's the thing. I think it's kind of my like ghosts are like, nah, girl, you're desperate. Because they know I'm like ghost. You wanna come out? It's okay, I'm a friend. Or I'll do the whole taunting, like, whatever, ghost, you're not scary. I'm not scared of you. Hoping that they'll come out and be like, ooh, hey, I'm dead. It hasn't happened yet because I think they know how much I want to like legit see a ghost. That the ghosts are like, nah. But in Austin, I was training weekend. My guides were telling their stories. I was super proud of them. I was kind of leaning back against the wall, drinking my beer as I do, and this hand just it was really gentle and like really kind of nice actually. Just caressed my cheek. And at first I was like a mix of emotions because I've been single for a long time. So first it's like, oh, that's nice. And there's like, wait, who did that? And then like, oh, a live dude is touching me. I'm gonna punch him. And then I'm turning around. There's nobody there.
It was just me.
You gotta get a job. Quit following me around.
I gave you a tour. Just look at it.
A lot of time on his hands.
Pay no attention to the creepy guy not drinking in the back.
Rubbing your faces.
So yeah, the ghost totally just was like, "What's up, girl?" And I went through a large range of emotions with that. But yeah, there was no ghost. That tour, one of my favorites. We get a lot of interesting guests on our tour. I would say the majority of people, they just like the idea of a pub tour and ghost stories. It's a really great way to get to know the city that you're in because we do talk a lot about the history and the beginnings of it. The ghost stories tie hand in hand with that. So it's a great way to learn that stuff and go out on a pub tour. And, I get to meet people all the time. But I also get to meet very interesting people. Very unique people. And I think the most unique person I ever met was on that same tour in Austin. There's a restaurant in Austin that we visit. It's called the Russian House. Legit Russian food. It looks like it's a house out of the Cold War. Like it's a really cool place. And they give you a free shot of vodka the minute you walk in the door. It's like Russian tradition. So yeah, you walk in, they're like, oh, have some vodka. Yeah, okay, sure. They have a giant stuffed bear called Misha. And you can take pictures with Misha. And this girl on the Austin tour, at the end of it, whenever we open a weekend, I always ask people, I usually will buy a drink for the guests and just say, hey, if you guys will sit around with me after the tour, just kind of talk about what you really liked about it, what we could improve upon, things like that. That really helps us when we're opening a new city. And she's showing me the pictures she took during the tour. And there's a picture of the bear and her friend next to the bear. The bear's got its arms out, kind of like a Barbie doll, like this. And in one picture, the shadow of the bear's arm, right here where it should be. And in the next picture, the shadow of the bear's arms over here. But guess what? She took the first picture from here. She took the second picture from here. The shadow moved, you guys.
Ooh, Misha.
So, me trying not to be like, well, lady, you
Move
moved.
the camera.
How that's science.
Flash on that camera?
But you always want to indulge them.
Maybe
and so
a ghost
like,
moved her hand.
wow, look at that. Yeah, it moved. That's weird. And she goes, well, what does the shadow look like? And I'm like,
Misha.
It looks like a bunch of different things. It could be a lot of things. And she goes, it looks like a horse.
Of course it does.
Yeah.
Bear horse.
I said,
It's her making like.
yeah. I see it. I wonder what it means. And y'all, I kid you not. She goes, well, bears, horses, Russia.
You know.
You know.
Yeah, they had horses in Russia. They're there. And she goes, well, there were a lot of wars in Russia. I was like, yeah.
Not in Austin.
Well, they rode horses into war. You're right. Oh my gosh, you're so right. They did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
She proceeded to go and show everybody that picture and tell her theory about Russian war horses.
See, I would have. You're better than me. You're a better person than me. I would have said.
She was from Beaumont.
I'd have been. You're drunk. That's what's the problem.
Yeah.
That's
so yeah,
all it is.
those.
So what do you because you've seen a lot, you've been on a bunch of tours, you've seen ghostly stuff, you've seen crazy people. What do you think? What do you believe? What do you think's going on? Are there people that have not moved on that are in these places? Are there other things creepy going on? What do you think?
To be 100% honest, I fully believe in ghosts, but I have no idea why they're here.
Okay.
I have no idea. If I'm on a tour and I'm sounding smart, I would say it's definitely unfinished business. Something they didn't get to do. I don't know. I think there's got to be more to it than just like, oh, you die and then you're gone. That's it. So I totally believe in these like energies. It may not be like a person who's actually haunting something, but there's some form of energy. That's like what a residual haunting is.
Yeah.
I'm going to get into my like nerdiness with ghosts.
Oh, I'm right there with you.
Oh yeah.
The something so significant that it created like a rift of energy in time, and so it just repeats over and over and over again. There's one in Savannah at the Lucas Theater. A guy got totally shot down by the mob in the lobby in Savannah. I know, random, but now his ghost is just like destined to live over and over. He runs into the lobby and then like his body's all like, we assume he's getting shot. I mean, it could be something else, but
hey,
that's, I mean, he's either dancing or he's getting shot, one or the other.
Too wild and crazy guy.
It was you, Chris.
That was Chris and Jared in high school.
This is me, Jared.
And that's why I did not go to prom with you.
Oh, what the truth comes out. Oh,
I don't blame you.
No, I went to prom with who? Cass?
I don't know.
Well, there were two of them.
There were two of them. There were two Casses?
Well,
Two proms.
Two proms.
Yeah, you have the junior prom.
Oh, she went 3 times.
I went 3 times.
Well, yeah, because like you were popular and
No, I'm pretty sure all of my prom dates were gay or are gay. I was a beard. I was a good solid beard in high school.
I was just like, hey, we're friends. We can go together, I guess. Cause, that's cool and stuff. Because that's basically who I went to dances with was friends, and
I was a solid beard in high school, and I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly fine with that because I had some great times. But
I was just the guy in the background standing there, not doing anything.
That's probably more fun, right? Going with friends instead of somebody you're trying to impress or whatever,
Well, we all went together anyways, so it was kind of like...
How did we get to this?
I don't know.
I don't see this. I don't see this in my notes. No.
The first one was the first one for me was very sad.
Somebody commented and said, "Cass Wise."
That's Cass. That's my prom date.
He's here.
First holiday celebration.
Hey, Cass. So,
sorry,
I'm gonna rein it back in. The residual. Okay, I like to talk. I'm going to get nerdy here on you. Okay.
Okay.
I like talking because here's the thing. Every time we
watch Supernatural.
Every time we go to a new place, I'm like, the first thing I Google is it haunted? Because I'm like, I want to know. I want to know the stories because that is the number one way to find out the stories about a place is if there's some kind of haunting or ghost story because then it tells you everything. So I got to go to my number one haunted place that I've always wanted to go to. I got to go to the Stanley Hotel in Colorado. I don't know if you've been there, but
I have not.
Let me tell you, it's amazing.
I've written a couple blogs on it though, on our website, nightlyspirits.com.
There you go. But it's a cool place, and they take you on a tour, and you get to go like in the bowels of the Stanley Hotel. And what you notice is that it's all built on these big boulders and these big rocks. And one of the theories is, and I sort of like this theory, is that the residual haunts are like a photograph. If you think about how we take photographs of pictures, I mean, it's not magic. It's not, you stole my soul. It's in this picture now.
That's exactly what it is.
Oh, it is. Oh.
Yeah.
Anyways, that these properties in the earth basically make a picture of some events that happen in between the weather and the stuff. Those events will happen. So I think that's what I think about residual haunts, because I don't think it's just some dude is like, you know what, I'm just going to hang around and I'm going to do the same thing all the time. So
I don't even think that the spirits in a residual haunt know what's going on. I don't think it's a functioning spirit.
Yeah, I think it's like a photograph in time, like a movie in time.
It's a flash in time.
Yeah.
The way I like to put it when I'm getting all like spooky is that every now and then the veil between the living and the dead will get thin enough that we can see that photograph, that flash in memory of whatever happened. So that's a residual haunting. But there are hauntings that are like, I think are some dude like, hey, I'm dead. We keep going back to that. Now.
I'm dead. He's got a t-shirt on. I'm dead.
Dead guy.
But I think there's I think there's more nefarious entities that are in play too that you don't want to mess with.
Definitely. Yeah, there's people that are, the San Antonio, the hotel in San Antonio, the Sheraton Gunter Hotel was the site of like the biggest unsolved crime in San Antonio history. It happened in the 60s. Some guy was staying there, and the maid, she opens the door. She didn't see the do not disturb sign, or she just ignored it or whatever. But she opens the door, and the room is just covered in blood, wall to wall, blood everywhere. There's a dude standing in the middle of it, and she's looking at him like, okay, how do I back out of this situation without being murdered right now? And he turns and he looks at her and he goes, shh. And then he runs past her and he leaves and he disappears. She takes a minute and then starts just screaming. And they come up and they check this hotel room and there's no sign of a body, but there's blood everywhere. The bathtub's filled with it. It's on the walls. It's on the carpet. It's everywhere. And they can't find this guy. He obviously used a fake name when he checked in. But they found that through that fake name, he had been visiting department stores and industrial suppliers looking for an industrial-sized meat grinder.
Huh.
They've been searching for that. There was no like proof that he ever found it or whatever. But then he, they put out notices all over the city. This guy, we got to find him. They finally found his like real identity, and he was like some dude that lived in his mom's basement, and he had been seen. I know. He was like the coolest kid in town.
I mean, if you live in a basement, that was the cool thing to do.
I mean,
Ryan lived in our parents'
basement.
I lived in a basement.
It was a cool basement. But yeah. And then he like showed up about a week later at the St. Anthony Hotel, which is a hotel like down the street. And he was demanding the same room that he was in at the other hotel. And the bellhop was like, wait a minute, something's going on here. So they called the cops, and they came. The guy barricaded himself in the room, shot himself in the room. Tragic, tragic, tragic. But the gunter, where he did whatever he did to whatever body that they never found to this day, also no idea. No idea. They assume since he was looking for a meat grinder, he found a meat grinder, and gross. But the hotel is super duper haunted, and we actually opened San Antonio on the anniversary of that murder. I think it was like 52nd anniversary, something like that. We opened, and the murder took place on one of the higher floors that you can't get to without a key to the hotel. One of those fancy places that they're like, we don't want peasants on the top floors. No, go away, peasants. And of course, I'm going to be the one in the elevator like, let's go. Let's try to get up. Hey, sir, can I borrow your room key? I don't know you. It's fine. I work here. So we go to the elevator. We go to the floor right below that floor, because that's like as high as they'll let poor people go. And so we're on that floor, and we step off the elevator, but the elevator doesn't close. I'm like, why is that elevator closing? And then it closes really quickly, but then it opens right back up. And I looked at the girl I was with. I was like, did you touch the button? She's like, I didn't touch the button. So she's like, that's really creepy. I said, yeah, let's get in the elevator. So we got in the elevator. I said, don't touch anything. We didn't touch a thing. It closed, and it took us up one floor. Like, that elevator took us up to that floor. I didn't push anything. We didn't have a key. It took us up there. And so we went in there, and the power had gone out on that floor only, which doesn't make sense, because a hotel is on a grid system, and it doesn't make any sense why, like, one room would be out of power and another one wouldn't. No sense. And the lady that was staying in that room, she had her door open, and she was like freaking out. Water had started like pouring out of her sink and like onto the floor. She's like, I didn't touch it. And the lights were out. And we went into that room, because of course we went into the room. And I have never felt such like pressure, like physical pressure. I literally felt pressure on my whole body. And of course, I thought it was cool with the girl as well. She's like, can we leave, please? Can we leave? And I was like, wait, one more minute.
Did you go into
They're like, y'all shouldn't be in here. And I was like, it's okay. I work here. No.
I work here.
Did you go into the kitchen and open the fridge door? And was there a dog and that's it?
Chris froze.
You absolutely.
Am I here?
Was there a dog named Zool? Is that what you're getting ready to say?
Yes.
I wanted to ask. I was going to be more inappropriate. I wanted to say, did you guys go out for hamburgers afterwards?
Oh.
But yeah, that was definitely a creepy ghost, creepy feeling.
I bet.
Everybody else was like, this is wrong. I feel like terrified. We should leave. And of course I was like, one more minute. I'm trying to talk to it. Didn't work.
I wonder why. It seems like a lot of like hotel hauntings, the go-to for the whatever's haunting it is turn the faucet on. It just seems like that's the thing. You know what? I think maybe
it's something that's easy for them to do.
Maybe.
Not a lot to do in apartments as much. I mean, houses, there's like attics, there's basements, there's all kinds of stuff they can go to. All kinds of go-tos. But apartments, it's like faucet.
Flash the light.
Flash the light, I guess.
Yeah.
Drop some marbles or something.
If I knock on the wall, they'll just think it's their neighbor.
Make some biscuits.
Making biscuits, yeah.
Oh, dropping marbles, Katrin, huh? that was ETSU.
That was ETSU.
Have you heard that story there, Katie? There's a dorm at ETSU. It'd be East Tennessee State University for those that don't care.
Not informed.
And there's one. There was one of the girls' dorms.
Lucille Hall.
Lucille, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you would hear it would sound like marbles dropping and rolling across the floor. I heard it a few times. You know, I was in the girls' dorm.
A lot.
A lot.
I would believe ETSU's got some haunted stories for sure.
Yeah, our parents have both said on one on Facebook and one on YouTube. I don't know why they're not watching together. They're in the same house. They both said basically at the same time, which is sort of spooky.
Yeah, that is spooky.
Tell Katie she needs to come back to our house and our ghosts. And then our dad said, come visit us. We might have a spirit or two we'd like you to meet. So
they just bought a new meat grinder.
Yeah.
Oh, can we order pizza?
They have said that spooky things happen at our house, our parents' house. Lights fall out of the ceiling. What else happened? Some entity hovered above our mother one night.
There was something that went down the hallway.
Something went down the hallway. Yeah. Is this me?
There was something that happened one time, and it was spooky, and we thought it might be something, but then I figured out what it was. But it was me. We were sitting just watching TV, and the door to the basement was shut. Like we had gone down there earlier, and we'd shut it. It was completely shut. And we're sitting there watching something on TV, and suddenly we heard a click, like the door knob turned or whatever, and the door just slowly opened up. And we just kind of, our dad and me, we just kind of looked at each other like, I don't know what just happened. But we think it was just like outside pressure, wind, and through the basement, like opening up the door, just didn't get shut all the way. But it's probably a ghost. It was a ghost.
That's always the answer. It's a ghost.
The heating or air or.
Yeah, air turning on, and it was cold outside, warm inside, and the door didn't get shut all the way, probably. But
yeah, see, they were going to redo a room that our grandmother used as a kitchen when she was there. They're going to redo the room, and when they decided to do it, the whole light in the ceiling fell out of the ceiling, about hit them. So they're like, I guess she doesn't want us to redo this room.
That's what's messed up.
That would be memo. Yeah.
Are there any places that are on your bucket list to visit? Any haunted, creepy places?
Yeah, I've got like a massive, when we were in the shutdown, I worked on some of our stuff for our blogs on our website, and I did like a spooky road trip of the South, and did a bunch of research on like all the haunted places on this little road trip I've mapped out for the South. And some of them I'm like super close to, so I need to go. The Myrtles Plantation is like 45 minutes from here. I'm dying to go there because it's
creepy.
The main thing though, problem is with a lot of these haunted things, like I want to go inside. I want to go where it's haunted, and most of these things they're just like, no, you can look, but don't come inside. Go away. Mm-hmm. Like the Lalaurie Mansion here, super creepy, but you can't go inside. The guy who lives there is kind of a jerk, stand out on his patio, like smoking a cigarette, like, yeah, look at all these tour guides talking about my house. it's
we went on a ghost tour one time in LA. It was one of those, the star tours that drive you around LA. They'll take you to all the famous people houses, whatever. And that's what we thought we were going to be sitting in a thing, driving around, looking at places. We didn't expect to be going in anywhere. But when we first got there, the guy that's supposed to meet us to take the tour was 15 minutes late, and suddenly he drove up in this. It was basically a van with the roof cut off of it. And he had like long hair, like tied back. He's like, okay, guys, yeah, sorry I'm late. Let's get going, get in the van. So we're driving around LA in this van, like with no top on it. We came to find out later that this was like the son of the owner of Star Tours.
But you were about to say, came to find out he wasn't actually a tour guide.
He was dead a whole year before.
1 year ago.
1 year ago. I mean, he drove us up to the Hollywood Hills, which are like these steep roads, like with like just sheer drop-offs, like going like 60 miles an hour up through these things. Like, yeah, this is where like, blah, 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 drove off the hill and died. Ha ha, and taking a turn and we're like flying out the side. But then we drove up to the Comedy Store, which is like this big, like a lot of people got their start there in comedy and stuff. And we were just driving past. He's like, wait, hold on. And he's like pulled in the back. He's like, give me a few minutes. Give me a few minutes. He like jumped out and we like saw him like for 5 minutes, like talking to some guy at the back door. And he came back. He was like, okay, guys, come on, everybody get out. Let's go in. And we're like, okay, this doesn't seem like we should be doing this, but sure. Okay. And he actually led us in the back of the Comedy Store and like took us to all these rooms where like we were pretty certain we were not supposed to be in there. And more than likely people were doing things in those rooms and smoking stuff that we probably shouldn't be witnessing because that's what they do in the Comedy Store. But yeah,
it's still jealous.
Yeah, it was, we almost died on a ghost tour.
Huh.
I kind of want to write a script about a ghost tour guide who like poisons her guests as the tour
based on true events.
Yeah.
I would never do this. Nightly Spirits does not condone violence or poisoning people. But like as she goes, she like poisons them so they'll be permanent guests on the tour, and she'll have guaranteed ghost sightings.
Oh.
I mean, I'm surprised that's not a movie on Amazon.
One of those like late night. You're like, oh, there's nobody I know in this. Let's watch it. That's
a sound business plan. You should take that to your boss.
Yeah.
Please continue to take Nightly Spirits tours.
Yeah.
You don't poison your guests. Not the one we like, anyways. Maybe push into traffic if you get on my nerves, but.
So in our comments, Winchester mentioned the Hotel Cecil. That's it's a big thing on Netflix right now.
Yeah, I just watched that. That blonde lady, she's like, "This is a wonderful place to be." About 80 people died here when I was working here.
They said they found her. I called my mom, and then the police. Okay, that makes sense.
I haven't watched it.
Yeah, we drove past that place. That place is creepy looking.
That's like, one of those places that creepy. I would definitely like run in and go to those like top floors that they talk about where like things happen. Like I should not be alone, but I would be up there like, where are the ghosts? And then some like non-ghost would like kidnap me and steal my skin or something like that. But
yeah, I wouldn't be afraid of the ghosts in that building.
No.
In that building.
The Cecil's definitely one that the ghosts aren't the scariest part.
No.
There's a couple of those where it's like, you might hear strange noises, but that's probably not a ghost. Also, probably nothing you should investigate, look further into. Pay no attention to that grumpy man in the background not drinking.
What was that show on MTV a long time ago where they would go into these buildings?
The Real World.
No. But they would try to... Oh, come on. They would take them into these scary buildings and just turn the lights off and have them walk through, I don't know what it was. No, it was like one of the first shows of that kind. I don't know, but they would take them through. Anyways, when we were at ETSU, there was a group of us that went to Elizabeth into this old hospital and walked around through it trying to like, let's find something spooky. And instead we saw all this graffiti everywhere. And it was like, we're going to die because somebody's crazy in here, not because of some ghost, So it was, yeah.
That's why I like
you got to be careful and go to places.
That's one of the biggest hazards of my job is like putting myself in check and being like, Katie, I know you want to go see the ghost, but there's a man in there who's going to kill you. Don't do it.
Yeah.
That's why I go to the fancy.
You ever go to the Goatman's? You ever go to the Goatman's Bridge in Dallas?
Dallas.
We talked about that before. It's in the Dallas area.
I hate Dallas.
Goatman's Bridge, but it's haunted by a goat man.
It does. It's Dallas. Dallas is awful. Sorry, people from Dallas. I hate Dallas.
Poor Chris.
It's a goat man.
I was hit by a car in Dallas last year.
But he was
hit by a car. I died.
Sorry. The show is called Fear on MTV.
Oh, of course.
Just flat out fear.
Yeah, I looked it up. I only go to the fancy haunted places like the Stanley, where I know there's not going to be a bug that's going to shiv me in the night.
A lot of fancier hotel, like the fancy haunted place, the Stanley, at least they embrace it. They're like, yeah, we're haunted. We'll give you a haunted tour. We'll let you stay, like go into the room that's haunted that Stephen King had a nightmare in, things like that. But a lot of the really, like in stupid Dallas, there is the Adolphus Hotel. Super fancy, super haunted. But they don't want people to know that they're haunted. They don't like that we talk about it. They'll even come out in the street. We do a tour in Dallas, and they'll come out in the street and be like, don't talk about our haunted hotel. And I'm like, that's how you know that hotel is super haunted.
You just called it a haunted hotel.
They're don't talk about our haunted hotel. Yeah, a lot of the fancy places, if you walk in there and you're like, do you have ghosts? They're like, especially Adolphus. It's weird. It's like the employees have to sign a contract that says they won't talk about the ghosts. They'll even, if you ask one, they look nervous. They're like, we're historical, not haunted.
That's why I always wear a brown jumpsuit with my name on it, and I walk in and I'm like,
you got your proton pack, you're good.
Yep. We got a call from here.
You're fine. Don't cross the streams.
Yep. And I knock stuff over and break stuff just for the fun of it.
The fancier places, they don't want to admit they're haunted, and they'll.
And he goes around a corner, covers himself in slime, runs around the corner again.
Yeah. You go! I would totally do that.
I know you would.
But yeah, so I've been to a lot. I've been to St. Augustine, has a lot of cool stuff.
I was in St. Augustine a month ago.
Yeah, that's some fun stuff. The graveyard there, and then there's the old hospital or something that you go in, and we went into it, and they turn off all the lights and go, we're just going to sit here. By the way, you're standing by where people will get their legs amputated right there.
No big deal.
Yeah, no big deal. And that place is creepy because it's the oldest town in the United States, so it's going to be
We're going to
creepy.
open St. Augustine in the spring, actually. It should be about a month. Yep. I am now a licensed tour guide in St. Augustine.
Oh, there you go.
As well as New Orleans and Savannah and Charleston.
Well.
Yes. Which means absolutely nothing because they make you take these tests to be licensed, and especially here, the New Orleans tour guide test is they give you a book that's super thick, and they're like, here's your study guide. And you're like, what? Basically, it's to give money to the people who wrote the book because everybody that takes a tour guide test has to buy that book. And so I studied, I freaked out because my brain just is like, I got to know all of this stuff. And I learned so much about New Orleans backwards and forwards. I studied for a week. I get there and the test is 40 questions of is this a balcony or a gallery? What? What kind of column is this picture? What? It was ridiculous. And so now when I give a tour here, I make sure to point out, now that is a balcony, not a gallery. And I have to know that for my tour guide test, and now you have to know it. And Augustine was worse. It was worse. It was so much ridiculous information that I was like, I will never share this with my guests. Ever. And then I took a tour that night. Well, yeah, I like to take the competitors' tours just to spy. I usually I'll give them my mom's name, and the guy's calling me Janet all night, and I'm like, that's my mom. Oh wait, no, that's me. And so I'm on this tour, and the guy starts talking about the Huguenot cemetery, and he's totally pointing in the wrong direction. He's like, "Yeah, there's a cemetery over there," and I'm like, actually. It's over there. I took a test this morning.
Took a test? I was tested.
I've been tested.
Yes. I officially know where the cemetery is in St. Augustine. So, earlier. Yeah.
So let's see. We got Vance mentioned Alcatraz at night. Yeah, Alcatraz at night would be.
Oh my gosh!
Any place where you go, it's like on an island where it's like, okay, you can't really get away really fast. That's haunted.
That's terrifying, and I would walk in a second. No hesitation.
Salem is really cool. We've
yes,
been to Salem
I haven't
before.
been to Salem yet, but I have the script ready to go.
Nice.
So we're opening Boston and Salem this spring as well. We try to open, like, we were slated to open several in 2020, but this thing.
Yeah.
This thing.
This should not be named. So when is Nightly Spirits going to open the Haunted Doll Island tour?
Nice.
I want to do the Cat Island one first. So
the Haunted Doll Island is the creepiest thing I've ever seen. It doesn't even have to be haunted. It's just the creepiest thing I've ever seen.
Dolls are creepy. Yeah, they dolls.
Yeah.
Nope.
So our one of Jennifer's relatives, I forget who it was, gave our daughter one of those creepy porcelain dolls.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we first got it, I hate those things. Katrin knows how much I hate dolls. They're just creepy. So when we got it, I would move it around the house. And my wife would be like, Tori, like to our daughter, did you move the doll? And she'd be like, no, I didn't move the doll.
You're not supposed to touch that doll.
Yeah, you're not supposed to touch that doll. And she would go, Ryan, did you move the doll? And I'm like, because she knows I don't like these creepy dolls, I'm like, do you really think that I would touch that thing? And she goes, no, you're probably right. You would. And I finally had to come clean, like, yeah.
Elf on a shelf, man.
I was like, it's me. It's so, and I'll forget where it is, and I'll walk in a room, and it'll be like just sitting there, and I'll be like, oh, like, why does this have to be in our house?
A lot of those on the shelves in my bedroom. Like, remember when my parents let me move upstairs, and like the entire upstairs house was my bedroom?
Mm-hmm. Not that I've been in your bedroom upstairs. For our parents watching, I remember her saying this, but I've never been up there.
You're an adult now, Chris. It's okay.
Chris, you drew on my walls.
I did.
Whoa!
I drew on my walls. I mean, you drew on my walls.
I painted a giant big apple.
Oh yeah, I think that's still there. Is it? No, they remodeled the upstairs, so it's not one big room anymore. So all the stuff that's in the stairwell that Puma drew is all there. But I think that apple is still there.
You could cut that off your wall, sell it on eBay now.
Okay.
For nothing.
I could use it like $10. So.
$5.
That's it's $10 stretching it.
Yeah. That's a stretch.
Oh.
This guy worked on Alvin and the Chipmunks. Come on, $5.
This guy worked on Alvin and the Chipmunks. All of the stuff you've done, you picked Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Well, yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
It all started by drawing on my walls in high school.
All right, let me. Is there any other stories you want to share before we move on and then wrap up? Not about Chris, but just about Nightly Spirits or ghosts, or what should I? Since I'm still in Houston, let's say I can't go on one of these tours.
Okay.
Because of children.
Not allowed.
Well,
we do an all ages tour.
Oh, that's true. That's true. When the big COVID is over, we'll go. I'm telling you, I don't leave the house. Besides the spaghetti warehouse you can't go in? What's the scariest or most haunted place that you can actually go inside in Houston?
Well, when COVID doesn't,
forget about COVID.
Dean's downtown.
Okay.
It's a bar on Main Street. I know you don't drink, but I'm sure they'll give you like some apple juice or something like that. Some cranberry juice. It used to be a pharmaceutical warehouse. No, that was spaghetti.
They don't drink. There you go.
It was a discount clothing store. There's like 10,000 ghost stories in my head. They get mixed up every now and then.
Oh, I'll bet.
Sometimes I'm literally like, I don't know what city what time zone I don't know where I am. I don't know. I'll actually be in Fredericksburg next weekend. So, Dean's discount clothing store back like in the 60s. And the cool thing about Dean's was he would let people buy on credit, and he was one of the first people like in the area to let women purchase on credit, because most people wouldn't let women purchase on credit because they were like, women, money, they can't handle it. And Dean was like, whatever, I'll take your money. I don't care if you're a man or a woman or whatever. I'll take it. So he has there's all these old ledger books from back in the day where people would write down what they would buy. And it was the discount clothing store from like the 30s through the 60s. So some of the ledger books date back to the 30s. It's got like people's addresses in it and their names and how much money they still owe, and like big stamps that are like default in payment, things like that. But the building is somewhat known for having the oldest electric elevator in the state of Texas is inside that building. It doesn't run anymore, but they turned it into a little lounge where you can, take your cranberry juice in there, and you can sit in this little elevator lounge drinking your cranberry juice, and the doors still close and all that stuff. But here's the scoop. That building during Prohibition had a speakeasy upstairs. And it was kind of mob run with the giant Houston mafia that ran it. You had to like give a password to the dude in the elevator, and he would take you, if you gave him the proper password, he'd take you upstairs, you'd get a drink, maybe a girl, have a good time, whatever. If you gave him the wrong password, probably slit your throat, something fun like that. Yeah, exactly. And so that elevator, he's still there, and we've gotten a ton of pictures of him. He actually looks a bit like Severus Snape. Got long dark hair, the pale face. All the pictures we get, people are either like, "Oh, it's the guy from Kiss," or "He looks like Snape from Harry Potter," or "Is that guy from the Matrix?" I don't know which one they're talking about. Yeah, we get that a lot in the pictures. But he, one of our guides is like sensitive to spirits, and she won't get in that elevator because the last time she did, she got scratched, and it growls at her. And yeah, but that elevator is terrifying, which means I love it. I like every time I'm there, I take my cranberry juice and walk out in that elevator. But even if you just like pop in, not to have a drink, like go look at that elevator. It's really old, it's really creepy, and they've turned it into a little lounge, and the mafia ghost lives there.
Sure, he's just making biscuits on her arm.
You want to make some biscuits?
It works when it's a cat. When it's not a cat, you can't say he was making biscuits.
Unless it's air biscuits.
Air biscuits.
Air biscuits.
So I think we've discovered something here tonight. And I mean this with all due respect. And I think this could be Nightly Spirit's newest endeavor. We've heard of drunk history, but drunk ghost history, where this would be the greatest show that has ever been invented.
Listen, my roommate from Texas that I lived with for 8 years, he pretty much got drunk ghost history from me because, like, when I would come home, I'd be like, "Oh my god, I got a new ghost story." Because when I'm on tour, I'll have a drink, right? And so when I get back home, I'm like, "Can I tell you the ghost story?" And we forever have wanted to do that.
Why didn't you film this? You have to film this. This is our new show. Katie's coming on once a week, and she's going to drink it up, and then we're going to record her.
I know so many ghost stories that I just kind of, I need that safe environment, because otherwise, like, I'm going to do something that shouldn't be on air. That's probably why.
This will be our next show. We've got it. I'll send the paperwork over. Dark. Yeah, it'll be like.
Yeah, no, it's a thing that I very much want to make a thing.
It would be hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
With a little spooky thrown in.
Well, I live in New Orleans now too, so it's walking the street. I'm a block off of Bourbon, so.
All right, Chris, have your people call her people. And...
All right, I'll get my people on that.
It's all hooked up. We're going to be on the History Channel before you know it.
Actually,
you were
the Travel Channel.
Yeah, we know.
She was already on it.
Yes. Season 1, Episode 5 of World's Most Unexplained.
I haven't got to watch it.
I watched that episode.
Yes, well, if you watch it, you will notice one of their paranormal experts is like this gorgeous blonde girl named Katie.
I missed that, but I saw you on that.
Oh, no.
I asked for it. I was asking for it.
Good night, everybody.
Oh. You watch all these shows and you're like, well, how do these people get these titles, you know? Well, I now officially have the title of paranormal experts.
There you go.
What's the show again, so everybody, so all our listeners can go watch it?
It's Ghost in the White House. It's called World's Most Unexplained, Season 1, Episode 5. I think it's on Hulu and Amazon Prime.
There you go.
Ghost in the White House. Okay.
Yeah, World's Most Unexplained, Season 1, Episode 5.
I'm going to go watch it.
Yes.
And I'm going to go, I know her.
Yes.
I know her.
And very interesting because I've gotten a couple of random like friend requests from people I don't know. I feel like I might have a different look than the typical paranormal experts they get on shows like that.
Yeah, a little bit.
You look at the other two, the two men they have on there. Yeah, I've got a lot of random friend requests. Like, hey, you were great. The ghost show, you were really good. Like, no.
Chris is gonna message you that later. Hey, I saw you on this show. You look great.
You really good ghost show.
Can I draw on your walls and make biscuits with you?
Yes.
Hey, you're a girl that was on TV.
But I am an official Travel Channel dubbed paranormal expert.
There we go. You should like wear a badge that says that just all the time.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Card or something. Yeah.
And then, like, if your boss.
Introduce myself. Hi, Katie Harrison, paranormal expert.
Yeah.
On the Travel Channel.
On the Travel Channel. May have heard of it. I don't even know who else is on the Travel Channel. I was going to say, with that guy on it.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I am on it.
Oh my goodness.
We had another suggestion for Houston from Cass. The old part of St. Luke's Baylor in Houston. Are y'all familiar with that at all?
Is that a hospital?
I'm not sure.
Baylor's a hospital here. I don't go.
There you go.
I mean, speaking of hospital, like the old Jefferson Memorial Hospital in Houston. It's now the Elder Street Artist Lofts.
Oh, of course.
It was a burial ground for like Confederate soldiers back in the day, and they built a hospital on top of it, and a whole bunch of people died, and it was abandoned for like 30, 40 years. Pretty much if you ask somebody that lived in Houston in the 90s and was like a teenager and then like our age-ish, and they were like, yo, have you heard of the Jefferson Davis Memorial Hospital? They're like, oh yeah, my friends and I like dared me to climb over the fence and like go knock on the door. It was like one of those places. And now it's subsidized housing for artists. And they have terrifying stories coming out of it. Like this one guy's like, there's something in one dude like that lives there. He like bolts his closet, puts a stereo in front of it.
Oh my gosh.
Because something's in his closet, like scratching the doors and stuff like that. So yeah, that's nice housing, but you get
somebody just wants to make some biscuits. That's all it is.
Is that the title of this episode?
Make some biscuits with
Katie Harrison.
Katie Harrison, yep. That's it.
The Katie Harrison from the Travel Channel.
I'm going to put from the Travel Channel after your name. People are going to be like, oh, well, they got somebody from the Travel Channel.
You're welcome.
Wow.
Before we go, because you're a busy woman hunting ghosts.
Yeah. I have like a half a beer I have to finish.
Oh, does anybody ever bring? This is a random question. Does anybody ever bring like ghost hunting stuff on the tours? They're like, I brought this machine here, and I'm going to use it. And
they talk just like that too.
Well, I would imagine probably would.
Yeah, I mean, on all ages tours, we have the little meter thingies that beep when you go near a cell phone.
Yeah.
Because it's fun for kids to be like, my dad's a ghost because he's got stuff on his pocket. We have people have the little like this switch that like twirl when there's activity. We've had people like which is fun, but at the same time, what we are is more. We focus a lot more on like, hey, we're in a bar telling ghost stories. It's just fun. We're not going to take it super duper seriously.
Ryan's going to be sitting in the back with dowsing rods.
Yeah.
Oh, there's one over there.
They crossed right here.
I'll be thrown out so fast.
Just chill out.
It'll be just 2 pencils, and I'm just like, look at it.
Not doing it.
I'm not doing this at all.
Not me. It's not me, guys. It's not me.
Have you been drinking, sir? I do not drink, thank you very much.
So you're just crazy.
You're just crazy.
Was it you're the baseball announcer that Will Ferrell will do?
Harry
Carey.
Harry Carey. Harry Carey restaurant in Chicago.
If you were a ghost, would you haunt yourself? I know I would.
I don't know.
Yes. Harry Carey haunts his restaurant in Chicago, y'all. He's a ghost.
Yeah. There you go. Well, not to change the subjects, but before we go, I have to ask, since we all have watched the latest, this will be spoiler alert coming up, watch the latest episode of WandaVision
From
last week.
Episode
7, I believe, is the Agatha song the most banger song of 2021?
Yes, it is the theme song.
I was very excited when that happened. I was very excited. She's also one of my favorite actresses. So
yeah, she's excellent.
She's hysterical.
Yes. And she sang that. She was the person that sang the song.
And her husband did like some of the backup.
Yeah. But then when she said that she killed Sparky, I was like, I told you, because I told the guys, I'm like, she killed Sparky. No, she didn't kill Sparky. I'm like, she killed the dog. And then she's like, I killed. And she looked at me right in the eyes when she said it.
She's like, Ryan was right.
She said, I killed Sparky. And I'm like, I knew it. I was watching in the middle of the night because I knew somebody would spoil it. So like after I do this, I'll edit everything and I'll be like, it's only like an hour till it comes on. I might as well stay up and watch it. So I was like, everybody else is asleep in the house, and I'm sure I probably woke somebody up going, yes, I knew it.
I knew it.
You did kill the dog. No. The dogs are fine.
The dog's fine.
Dog's fine.
I killed Sparky.
Oh man. Yeah, but I loved the song. I loved the reveal. I thought the reveal was excellently done.
Very well done.
Going down in that creepy basement because, as soon as she said the kids are in the basement, I'm like, oh, here we go. It's going down. And then you saw the cicada flying on the wall. And then, it was, I knew it was coming. I think most of us knew that she was going to be Agatha Harkness.
It was creeping up, yeah.
Yeah, like from like the first or second episode, we were sort of calling it. But the reveal, the way they did it, I thought it was great. And they gave her basically her own montage of every episode.
The Modern Family was like spot on, what they did for the episode. Like the Wanda was doing like the mom from that just like perfectly.
Yeah,
some of that. So that was cool. And I love the Office opening.
Yeah.
Yes.
So. and I'm going to get into the theory. Okay,
do it.
I'm going to get into the theory. I'm going to bring out my boards. Okay. Because we know that we haven't seen the engineer yet, and supposedly there is still going to be a reveal for the engineer. That's going to be somebody that we know. Supposedly, because the actor that plays Vision said that he had a scene with them, and he's been waiting for years to like act opposite this person. And so I was thinking like, okay, scientists in Marvel Universe, who have we seen? It's probably someone we haven't seen before because he would have maybe worked with them before. I was thinking, okay, with all the other movies that have been cast so far, what's been cast? And Katrin will fall asleep. And and so I was like, Spider-Man. Okay, who's been in Spider-Man? Okay, well maybe it's this person. So when I saw the wheels, I'm gonna show a picture. Okay, so
here he goes.
So
here he
goes. The wheels on the machine that the supposed engineer made. Okay, there's a swirling pattern. I was like, okay, it's a swirl. It's a swirl.
Jeff Goldblum.
And the swirl.
I get to it.
I was like, okay, how many swirls are there? Oh, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. 8 swirls that look like tentacles. Like an octopus tentacle? Like Dr. Octopus?
I don't think it's going to be Dr. Octopus.
Maybe!
Never know.
Let's say if it was Reed Richards and it was played by John Krasinski, or however you say his name, then there would be 2 Jim Halperts on the same show.
That would be true.
Because the guy that plays Wu played Jim Halpert's...
oh, yeah. He's Asian Jim.
He's Asian Jim. That would be hilarious. And they like meet each other and say, "Oh, good to see you," and all that stuff. A little office thing in there, and it would fit in with the theme of WandaVision because of the sitcoms. But I don't know if they're going to get him to play Reed Richards, and I don't think Reed Richards is going to pop up. I don't think an architect is going to pop up. If it does, it may be a scroll. Engineer, yeah, not an architect. That was what Katie wants to do. If it wasn't for architects, there wouldn't be ghost stories because there wouldn't be buildings that were haunted.
Oh man,
deep thoughts.
Bringing it all back.
Bringing it all back around.
Mm-hmm. And architects love biscuits.
Anyways, so I'm excited. Yeah, I think there is going to be. What are you holding? I can't see anything, Katie.
There's nothing there.
There's nothing there. What are you doing? I don't understand.
Why are you leaning forward?
Yeah.
It's my cat.
What cat?
What?
There's no cat. We don't see a cat.
You don't see this cat making biscuits? That's me.
Yeah, I don't. I'm with Vance. I don't think it's going to be Reed Richards. I don't think it's going to be Doc Ock either. That'd be sort of a stretch. But maybe.
No.
Catherine Hahn did play Doc Ock in the Spider-Verse movie. She voiced Doc Ock.
If it's not him, I want to lean towards like Norman Osborn or the Riri Williams. It's going to be an Ironheart.
I'm wondering if that group that they meet, that are still loyal, if they're all Skrulls.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking they're Skrulls. Good Ner's a Skrull. Could be the same kid Skrull that she met.
I think so. Yeah.
Not squirrels.
Not squirrels. No.
Squirrel.
It's a squirrel.
It's all squirrels.
I think maybe all of those are, but I don't know. Who knows? There is going to be somebody else that's going to pop up. We just don't know who. Tonight, supposedly, the next episode is going to hit you in the feels, I guess. I guess there's going to be some sad stuff that maybe happens.
Oh, good.
Supposedly. I don't know.
Or dogs dying.
I hope not. Once. No.
We already lost one.
Maybe it'll be less than 30 minutes instead of an hour. That'll hit you in the feels.
I have a feeling that the children are gone. No more.
For the children.
I think she either ate them, not ate them like.
She got a meat grinder.
Not like a meat grinder, but she took their spirits out, because basically what they are, if they're going by the comics, is they're part of Mephisto, basically. So I think that using that book, she sucked their spirits out and they're gone. And then we're going to find out that they're gone. And it's going to completely destroy Wanda, which is going to make the Hex go even bigger and stronger, which is going to enter into making the multiverse, I think. But that's just my thoughts. What do I know? I didn't know who killed Sparky, though. There's always that.
I killed Sparky.
Which is going to lead into Spider-Man. Spider-Man 3 is going to come out in December.
Wait for it home.
Which is No Way Home. Is that what it is?
No Way Home. Always Home.
Always, no way.
2020.
No Way Home, right? Anyways. Doctor Strange is supposed to be in that movie, but that takes place. See, Far From Home takes place after WandaVision. It's very confusing.
Because it's 5? No.
Far From Home takes place after WandaVision. Katie's like, can I just go? Far From Home takes place after WandaVision.
Okay.
Which is one of the reasons why they think the one teacher, when they say, from a scientific point of view, witches did it. Which that gets brought up in the movie. I don't know why they did it like this, but supposedly. But it's Marvel, they do whatever they want to. So I don't know, but I'm excited. I've watched every episode like twice. I'm excited for tonight's episode. And Chris has theories about the new Spider-Man movie that we'll have to do on another episode.
Ooh. Yeah, I go crazy later. It's fine.
Yeah, because we're already like at an hour 25.
What?
I'm rooting for squirrels.
Squirrels? Yeah, just
ties in with the new Disney Plus
movie.
Ghost
squirrels.
Yeah.
That Disney Plus movie, Ulysses. Whatever it's called.
Ulysses.
That has Marvel characters in it. So I guess the squirrels in Marvel now?
Why not?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The squirrel's going to show up. I'm here to save the universe.
That's who the engineer is.
Yeah, it's a squirrel. You've seen him before. I've always wanted to work with him.
Pretty talented squirrel.
All right. So anyways, Katie, thank you so much for coming on. If you ever want to come back on and just make fun of us or tell stories or whatever, you're always welcome.
I have to pull out my old yearbooks and.
Oh.
No, I heard all those like they were made with some kind of like chemical. They just like burnt up.
Disappeared.
They're no more.
Oh, thanks.
We could probably find some. I think there's some kind of website you can go on and you type in any school, any year, and it will pop up the yearbook of that school.
No, there's no more internet anymore.
Done. It's over.
Anyways, thank you for joining us.
Thank
you'll have
you.
to, if you're ever in Houston again, let me know, and you can give me a tour. You can take me in there.
And apparently, you'll never come to Dallas because you hate it. So
I could be a VIP.
Dallas.
Well, hey,
we have tours in Dallas. You can take one there.
Oh, here's the thing. So supposedly, as long as this COVID doesn't destroy everything yet again, because I hate you, COVID.
Yeah.
Katrin, Chris, and I will all be in Houston in May.
Okay.
So maybe the three of us can go on one of these tours.
22nd, 23rd.
Yes. I think that we can make that happen.
Katrin can drink and me and Ryan will watch.
Cranberry juice all around.
We're just watching Katrin. Yeah, does it taste good?
Mm-hmm.
That's great, guys.
Here, have mine too.
Anyways, all right, cool. Well, maybe we'll do that. That would be fun. We usually do an escape room, but this will be something different. Or maybe we'll do both.
You should do Ghost Tour, and then we can talk about it after.
Yes.
That escape room. What was that escape room again? Because it was kind of like not haunted, but it was like a murder.
Oh, the Strange Bird immersive?
No, the one that we did. What was that?
Oh, my friend works for Strange Bird.
I've been to Strange Bird long ago before the pandemic, and it's the best escape room I've ever been to.
My friend Amanda works there.
It's really cool. Yeah. I don't know if they're doing it right now.
Worked. I don't know.
Yeah. Go there, drop Katie's name.
Yeah.
We're like, paranormal expert.
From Travel Channel. Anyways. All right, thank you, Katie, again. Where if people want to find you or Nightly Spirits, where do they need to go? Here's your plug. Go ahead.
NightlySpirits.com. We also have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever, all those things. No, this is my first Skype, okay? I'm doing good. Just to get all this out. All right.
Join us on Twitter.
Yes, but NightlySpirits.com is where our website is. We have like 17 cities we tour in across the country. And then we also do cable car wine tours.
Cool. And if you mention I Am Geek, you will not get a discount.
Actually, I can do a 10% discount for you guys.
Oh, the I Am Geek discount, 10%.
Let's do a promo code. We'll do I Am Geek. And I'll get off with the promo code I Am Geek.
You have to pay 10% more.
Yeah, you have to pay 10% more. I'm going to go down and be like, you may have heard of me.
Yep.
The I Am Geek promo, that's based on my podcast.
Yes, any of our cities, not the wine tours. I can't give away stuff for that because but the ghost tours, promo code I Am Geek, you'll get 10% off.
Woo.
Nice.
Let us know in the comments if you use that.
If anybody actually goes, yeah.
Oh.
We'll go when we're all together.
Yeah.
I don't want to go by myself because then I really will be the creeper standing in the back.
Yeah.
But when I have friends in town, we'll go.
When I have friends, I'll go.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. Thank you again, Katie. And this has been episode 182 of I Am Geek. And we'll be back with you next week.